We're your new Fuqua Action News hosts, and I'm Alex Wilson.
And I'm Mikal Nathani, bringing you up to date with the pandemonium that has been Spring 2.
And we'll start it off with the bad news first. After 8 straight years of winning the Blue Cup, the streak has finally come to an end.
That's right, Alex. DJ Khaled, we are not, because apparently most of what we do is win-win-win. The Kentucky Fried School of Business, fed up with their incompetence, and, some say impotence, in the real world, decided to engage in rigging multiple sports on a level never seen before. The lack of sportsmanlike conduct astounded Fuqua students, slow to react due to a combination of decency quotient, raging tailgates and after-parties, and lead asbestos poisoning due to training at Brody. Chemical engineer and current Fuqua second year Renata Santos conducted an analysis that alleges the KFCers have been at work in Brody for at least 3 years. The impact of the lead poisoning was most visible in the chess and spelling bee losses at Fuqua Friday last week. Tarek and Arain reportedly spelt despicable as dispickleball.
Both Sean Perkins and Tariko are currently undergoing lead poisoning tests. Our thoughts, prayers, and beers go out to them. Rigging the rules was not enough for the Keenly Flatulence because their attendance at their own haunt, He's Not Here, for the Fuqua band performance was disgraceful. They arrived a full hour before the Fuqua roadies and then proceeded to finish the entire drinks tab. Fuqua student Maisie Ains is on record stating, "I got here at 4 p.m. to watch Ian Hottie Howard and Nate Biceps Schwartzbauer and was forced to do so sober." The KFC School of Business students then unceremoniously left before the band started to play.
That's their loss, honestly, because Smells Like Janine's Spirit is probably the most electric show I have ever seen. Huge shout out to them for a great year of getting us fired up and giving us great times. But anyways, in the face of blatant cheating, no-shows, poisoning, and unsportsmanlike conduct, the Fuqua School of Business put up a brave front, notching wins and having them taken away by unscrupulous rule changes by the kinda flaky school. To borrow from the master of letters, Duncan Gwynn, Gabby, carrying the school on her back, Casado, deserves a special call-out for living up to her middle name and then some, winning at basketball, flag football, track, drinking, and DJing.
I wish I had as many talents as Gabby. As the days rolled by and the score looked close, the KFC school sunk to even lower depths, as made visible during the gentlemen's game of cricket. What looked to most domestic students as a friendly disagreement between international students was soon discovered to be a slugfest of swearing that will turn many generations of Hindi speakers' ears red. Jordan Krasner, a Fuqua student skilled at de-escalation, had to use all his wits to prevent a fight from breaking out by repeatedly stating, "I don't understand what you're saying," in the face of expletive-laden, knucklehead fumbler school students.
Arey, KFC, why are you like this? Aapse kyun ho ji? It finally came down to a tennis match, and despite a heroic attempt, the KFCers won. They came to shooters, enjoyed a drinks tab that did not, surprise surprise, run out, and rode the Shooters Bowl all night in a display of their duplicitous dominance. This was not a surprise to most Fuqua students though, considering that the UNC Employment Report lists cattle herding as a top industry for the Killjoy Fraud School within 90 days of graduation.
The whole thing's upsetting. I'm feeling sad about it. Some would even say blue. Our lives have been so difficult lately. And you know who else's lives must have been difficult recently? Whoever was in charge of planning the weekend of April 12th to the 14th.
There must have been scheduling difficulties of a lifetime, given Blue Cup overlapped with a board visit, an alumni council visit, Big Duke reunion weekend, and of course, with Blue Devil weekend.
They all left thinking the exact opposite, that the decency quotient is dead, and all we care about is imposing as much physical, emotional, psychological, and professional pain on UNC as possible.
In response to students failing to come into class in order to prioritize Blue Cup participation, Professor Ronnie Chatterjee was quoted saying, "They are no longer students, they are zombies."
Yeah, sorry, Sherry and Bill, but all those attendees are headed to Darden and Tuck.
Fuqua students, on the other hand, especially second years, have committed to drink the pain away.
Cheers.
Let us not forget that we all started this term by asking every friend and acquaintance, what did you do over spring break? But we also heard some more interesting reports from the Treks.
Reports from India were mostly positive, but we did hear that what was advertised as a single trek in reality was 2 treks, because first years and second years mixed about as well as oil and water. We had reports of there being a first year bus and a second year bus. Honestly, it was just a lot of bus time. Second years claim a better overall experience because their group included a few Indian students who acted as guides. Despite the division, everyone was stunned by the Taj Mahal in Agra. The second year organizers were particularly happy with this portion of the trip because they kept the entire group in the city for multiple days so they could attend a wedding that coincided with the trip.
That actually reminds me. Everyone, I'll be leading treks to Howard County, Maryland and Albany, New York next school year. Please sign up and subsidize my wedding travel expenses. I mean, experience the cultural richness of suburban northeastern America.
Of course.
Moving on to Colombia. Pictures showed the trip to be sunny, hot, sweaty, and fun. Business school teachings like collaboration, supply and demand, and sharing were proudly on display when students organized an orgy to bring the trip to a climax. The event caught the attention of the Colombian officials and led to the deportation of 2 students. Oh wait, I apologize. That report is actually from the Chicago Booth Columbia trek. The Fuqua trek, in contrast, went as planned. No orgies or deportation were reported. Bummer.
The biggest news from Italy was the roommate situation. The 55 students who attended had to split between 18 rooms. For those who don't like mental math, that is 3 students per room. Couples attended had to decide who they wanted to include as their non-sexual third. No reports of threesomes or orgies from Italy. So, in addition to taking a hit to our athletic reputation, we are also prudes.
Well, that's break anyways, which, like allergies, receding seasonal depression, and March Madness, is just part of spring and the end of the school year. You know what else is a hallmark of spring? A relentless onslaught of move-out sales. Second-year posts have become even more overwhelming than Jack Prommel's Slack activity. Reports are that the entire first-year class has smartened up and are collectively waiting for prices to hit the floor from desperate second years.
Clearly, there are a bunch of second years who need to retake core finance and refresh themselves on the net present value and positive returns. Because of this, second years are now pivoting into a new market. Incoming first years from the class of 2026 who can't spot a good deal a mile away. We've also heard that a significant proportion of selling posts contain the original product linked from Amazon, Target, and Wayfair. So while some people may have failed finance, they obviously learned something in marketing.
The Adam Smith Club, who famously do not exist, must be absolutely thrilled to see such a compelling example of a flourishing and self-regulating market.
Incredible. Well, Fuqua, that's all we have to report for this term.
We will be keeping an eye out, rest assured, casting our journalistic net far and wide, ready to report on everything and anything Fuqua when we come back to you in the fall.
We hope you have a great night, good luck on finals, and have a great summer.